After killing her abusive father, Issa and her brother Thomas go on the run from the police. They stumble across an orphanage hidden in the forest and take refuge there. But the orphanage appears to house an evil entity that feeds off the bodies of the children, and Issa uncovers that she has a strong connection to the orphanage and the entity. This is one of those movies that is completely saved by its ending. It is 90 minutes of the main character making a series of stupid decisions only for her to redeem herself in the final 10 minutes before the end credits roll. Now, I have an ongoing grievance with Indonesian horror films being far too religious at times, so it would be very hypocritical of me to not say something about this film. Although that's very odd when you consider that this is a film about an orphanage being run by nuns. So what else would this movie be about other than religion? Maybe it's because I'm Catholic that I can tolerate the themes in this movie just that tiny little bit more. Indeed, knowledge of Old Testament fables would come in handy here, and the nuns refer to a character called Lilith, who is the first wife of Adam and is more commonly known as a night demon, especially those of you who've played the Capcom Darkstalkers game. The Lilim in question, and of course that is the title of the film, refers to her children and is also a reference to untamed feminine power, sexual agency, and the shadow side of desire. And I wish I could take the credit for that one, but that's a quote from a website. However, if you're hoping for some skin though, then this is definitely not the movie for you. This is from Viva Films, not Viva Max Films. So the difference being Viva Films is the clean area, Viva Max does all those Filipino smutty films. Now, as the movie gets pieced together, the behavior of the head nun starts to make a lot more sense. But the same can't be said about our main character, Issa. She mentions at the start of the movie that she's escaping to her grandmother's house and then stumbles across this orphanage looking for her brother, and she's a bit confused. To then later confess in the movie that the orphanage was the exact place that she was looking for. To me, it makes sense why she wanted to take refuge there, but it would have been far more interesting if the nuns were more demanding that she stay there rather than her asking to stay there. The scenes with the creepy Lilith/Lilim ghoul, they're quite effective, but very sparse. There is more build up here than I would have preferred. I felt we've waited far too long in the film to actually see this character, and then without any knowledge of what a Lilim is, you might be left a bit confused about why it does what it does. And like all good horror movies, it introduces a bunch of useless side characters for the sole purpose of killing them off. In this case, and it's just like the Indonesian horror film Macabre, it is a group of police officers. In this case, it's 2 police officers who should know a lot better than to do what they do in this film. Stupid characters, preventable deaths. Simply added just to satisfy the limited bloodlust in the film. But as I mentioned, the ending of the film really saves it from being a 1 star. The ending and the girl who plays Issa, Heaven Peralejo, I think I've said that correctly. It is quite a strong, feminine-powered, religious horror movie. That's something I think is quite unique for Asian horror cinema. But I can't help but wonder if it had a bit of a tighter edit and introduced the evil entity a little bit earlier on in the film, then it would have made this a bit more of a must watch. Using my patent pending ghost rating, which stands for great horror or stupid trash, this gets 3 ghosts because it is saved by the ending. If you can put up with the first 90 minutes and make it to the final 10, I think you're rewarded with a very satisfying and strong ending to the film that kind of betrays the rest of it. Well, the whole movie kind of betrays the ending, I feel like. Should have been far more strength throughout it, far more creature in it, should have had far more allusions to what was going to happen than what happened. It felt like the ending just kind of sprung up on you, and then Issa's character just kind of shoved into gear, and then we got the Issa that we wanted throughout the whole film. Anyway, I am the Artie Dans. Thank you so much for watching this review. Have you seen Lilim, this Filipino horror film, and what did you think of it? Leave a comment below to let me know. Like, subscribe, join the Discord, and I will catch you next time.